Hi folks, in this video I want to show you how you can run some very old gaming programming code from a very old programming book by Andre LaMothe, Teach Yourself Game Programming in 21 Days. So for those of you who don't own a PC with a DOS operating system, you can still run the games from the book under another program, DosBox emulator, which emulates the DOS operating system. But before we run the game code, we have to do a couple of changes. So the first thing to change, we have to run to get into the DOSBox configuration file. I'm talking about DOSBox version 0.74 or 0.74. You have to change there the Sound Blaster type into Sound Blaster 1.5. So this is DOSBox. Let's get into the configuration file. This is the one. Now let's find the Sound Blaster type. Here it is. I already changed it into Sound Blaster type 1, which is a Sound Blaster 1 or 1.5. In the original configuration file it was Sound Blaster 16-bit, so it should remain like this, Sound Blaster 1. Okay, let's have it again. And another thing we have to change, this is we are talking about the game Mech War from day 2. We have to change here also the DRV file, which is the driver for Sound Blaster. This is the driver file. So we'll get into the CD, which is in my right pen. I've copied it into my hard drive. So let's get into the source folder, and from there let's get into the Sound Blaster driver folder, and here it is, Sound Blaster 15, which is 1.5. We'll copy it into day 2 folder. Now let's change the extension of the original file into a backup one, BAK. I don't want to delete it, so we have changed the extension, and we will change also the extension of cityvoice.15 into cityvoice.drv, like before. Okay, so now let's get into DOSBox. Oh, another thing I forgot, we have to change in the configuration file mex.cfg. We have to change the port number into 220 and IRQ number 7. I already changed it. In the original file it was, if I'm not mistaken, 554, and the port was number 1, like this. Okay, DOSBox uses port number 220 and IRQ number 7, otherwise you won't hear any sound at all. So it's very important to change the mex.cfg file. Okay, let's open up right now the DOSBox emulator. So under DOSBox, the first thing we have to do is mount our hard drive, which is our C drive, into DOSBox. So the command is mount C space C, our DOS library, and enter. Now let's get into C drive in DOSBox, and we are now inside our C library. Please don't mount your C drive into DOSBox, otherwise you risk yourself with deleting files and folders under your hard drive. So always mount a folder in your hard drive into DOSBox. Don't forget it, please. So I've already installed here Windows 3.11. So let's get into Windows. CD Windows. And I've also installed already Microsoft Visual C++ version 1.52 in order to compile the code. So let's open up the project. I'll show you, although it's already opened for me. But here is the project, day 2, mex.mac. This is the project, the file project I created. And let's open the mex.c file. Okay, it's already opened. Now we have to change here also the port number in the code. So let's find where it is. Okay, define sound default int 5. We have to change it into 7. So I'll comment the original command and copy paste the command and change it into 7. Another place we have to change it here in the printf. It's not necessary, but it's much better. Like this, using default values of port 220 and interrupt 7. Okay, let's save it and compile the code. Okay, like you see, there aren't any errors. Don't pay attention to the warnings, they won't give us any trouble. Build mex. Okay, we're creating an exe file and everything so far goes okay. And let's get out from Windows and try to run the game. Okay, cd projects, day 2, mex. Okay. Okay, like you saw, the sound works perfectly, everything works okay. Okay, another game I want to show you is Seashark from day 16. So, like before, again, we are going to copy Sound Blaster driver version 1.5 into the game folder. Of course, we will change the original one into back extension and the 1.5 into DRV extension. Again, we have to change inside the CFG file the port number into 220, IRQ number 7. Okay, and again, let's get into DOSBox. So, inside DOSBox, let's mount again our hard drive with our DOS library. Okay, let's get into Windows. And into Visual C++, again version 1.52. On the way, I want to show you how to open up a new project. Although it's already have been made, let's click on Project, New, Browse. We're talking about day 16. Let's call the project like the game, Seashark. Okay, let's change the project type into an MS-DOS application and we'll click on OK. Yeah, overwrite it. Okay, we have to include in the project the implementations of the header files, which are graph 3, 4, 6, 9, and also the C# game code. Add all, and let's delete the first one, graph1.c. Okay, it's not necessary. Close, and let's open the C#.c code. Like before, in the MechWar game, we have to change the port number. Let's find it. Here it is. We will copy the original command and comment it. I don't want to ruin the original code. This is the reason I comment it. Okay. The next one we have to change is the printf. Here it is. Again, DOSBox uses port number 220 and interrupt or IRQ number 7. Let's save it and compile the C#.c file. Okay, we don't have any errors. Let's build the executable file. Yes. Okay, like you see, we don't have any errors. Let's get out of Windows and run the game. Okay, here are the instructions for the game. Use A and S keys to aim missile cannon. Use the spacebar to fire missile. Press the Q key to exit. Okay, let's go ahead. Oh, I missed. Yeah. Again, the game sound works perfectly. So that's all for right now. And let's now move to a very special surprise I made for you. So the little surprise I made for you and I want to share with you is that you can actually run these games under any Android device. So what I've done, I've copied from my PC the day 2 folder and also the day 16 folder, which are the following games: Mech War and Seashark. So under any Android device you can use DosBox Turbo, which is the emulator for DOS under any Android device. But in DosBox Turbo you have to change the drive into a 16-bit Sound Blaster driver. So what I've done, I've again changed the extension of the original City Voice, and I've copied the City Voice .16 from the 16-bit folder, and the same I've done also in the Seashark library. And let's get right now into DOSBox, which I already opened up. It's DOSBox Turbo. So let's remap the keyboard into a D-pad. So we can play the game much more easily, because it's very hard to play it with the Android device keyboard. Okay, let's click on settings and we have to click on overlay buttons. Show virtual buttons on screen. Okay, and we have to remap the keys into a D-pad controller. I'm clicking on button / controller maps, and I'm clicking on add button mapping. I'm mapping right now the MechWar game, the keyboard, the MechWar keyboard usage. So I'm clicking on add button mapping, and I'm clicking on map custom button 0. Okay, I'm clicking on BTN-A, and then I'm clicking on the little downside, the little triangle which you see in the right side, a very little triangle. Okay, and we have to choose from the keyboard the key we are going to remap. which is the D-pad left. D-pad left, this is the one. Okay, I'm clicking on OK. Again, I'm clicking on Add Button Mapping, and I'm clicking on Map Custom Button 1. I'm clicking right now on BTNB above. Okay, and again on the little up downsided triangle in the right corner, and let's choose right now D-pad right. Let's see where it is. Folks, I'm very sorry for my English, it's not my native language, so please bear with me. Where it is. Again, I'm looking for D-pad right. Okay, finally. Okay, I'm clicking on OK. And we have to remap right now the space key. I'm clicking on again on Add Button Mapping. I'm clicking on Map Custom Button 2. I'm clicking on BTNC, and here is the space key we have to remap, and I'm clicking on OK. And again, I'm clicking on Add Button Mapping and Map Custom Button 3, which is the last one, BTND. We have to remap it into the Q key in the keyboard. Q character. Okay. Here it is. Okay. Now let's get back. Another screen back. Okay, you can see right now the D-pad keys, and let's get into the game folder. I'm opening up my Android keyboard. Let's minimize it a little bit. Okay. Now, CD. You can't see it right now, but believe me, it's typing. CD projects, enter. Let's see. Okay. Okay. CD. Day. Two, which is 0, 2. Enter. And now let's run the game. Let's run the game. Max. Enter. Okay. Okay, let's try to run right now also the Seashark game, but again we have to change there the Sound Blaster driver into a 16-bit one. So let's get into the CD folder. Okay, SB driver, this is the one, SB 16-bit folder. We will copy it, copy, and let's get into the projects folder, day 16 folder. And we will change here the extension into BAK like we've done under Windows, under DosBox. Sorry, under Windows. Yeah, it was under Windows. Okay, BAK. Okay, and let's paste the file, the 16-bit one. We will change again here the extension into DRV. Oh. I have minimized the keyboard purposely so you would see what I'm typing. Okay, and let's run Seashark under Android inside DosBox, of course. Okay. But before we are doing it, we have to remap again the D-pad keys, because in Seashark you use the A button and S button in order to control the cannon. Okay. So key code virtual A, we have to change it into the A letter. Okay, clicking on OK. Key code virtual B, we will change it into S. Okay. Key code virtual C is already space, it's okay. Key code virtual D is Q for quitting the game, it's also okay. Okay, let's get back. Okay, and we have to change the folder into day 16. Okay. And let's run the game. Okay.
Game over, man.
As you can see, the game works perfectly under Android, also under DosBox Turbo for Android. And let's see the game from an outside view. Okay.